Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. The whole Fury and Ngannou, Usyk, AJ, all that jazz seems to be rolling along. Fury and Ngannou is the obvious issue. Lots of content creators on YouTube talking about it consistently, and it's getting good views. You know, it can't be denied. People are interested in this stuff. I've made several videos regarding this in the last 48 hours. So go and have a look at them if you're interested. I've done a few polls as well just to see how people feel. I know this is a small channel. It's got less than 2,000 subscribers, but it's good to get a little overview because it might be a sort of cross-section of a broader picture. But one thing that, of the many things that Frank Warren says that I think is nonsensical, is that he said no one's available to fight Fury. And this is palpable rubbish as far as I can see, looking at from the outside in. And in fact, we heard this same argument when it was announced that Fury was going to fight Derek Chisora for a third time, because people said, "What, Chisora? Are you mad? You beat him 8 years ago," and blah blah blah. But you know, Warren actually got out BoxRec's ratings, went through it, and said, "Well, none of them are available." And he said the same thing regarding the whole Ngannou thing. He was on TalkSport, and Adam Catterall. I don't listen to TalkSport, but I watched the interview with him and Adam Catterall, and he just laughed at Catterall when Catterall said Frank Sanchez, Bacoli, whatever. Oh, he just laughed. Oh, well, they don't make any money. Well, I thought Tyson was the cash cow. I mean, that's why he put him in with Chisora, and he made a lot of money. So why not Sanchez? Oh, it's because he's too threatening to got a chance of winning, maybe, you know. So what I thought I'd do, I've done something similar to this before, but what I thought I'd do is I'd go through the rankings and see how many of the top 10, and I'm not just going to choose one set of rankings because that would leave me open to accusations of bias. I'm going to go through the whole lot and count the amount of fighters in the top 10 that Fury has faced, and how many he hasn't, because he says that he is the greatest fighter, and Warren says this, he's the greatest fighter of his generation, the greatest heavyweight ever, according to Fury. But of course, you've got to go out and prove it. You know, Joe Louis, Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes, they all cleaned out the division of their era and proved themselves to be the best. You know, in Ali's case, he did it over 2 generations. So let's start, as Uncle Frank likes the BoxRec ratings, let's start with the current top 10. So they've got Fury at number 1. At number 2, they've got Usyk, which he hasn't faced. Number 3, Joshua, he's never faced him. Number 4, Ruiz, never faced him. Number 5, White, knocked him out, so that's 1. Number 6, Daniel Dubois, no. 7, Wilder, fought him 3 times. In my opinion, it should be 3 wins, but it's 2 and a draw. At number 8, Luis Ortiz, no. 9, Joseph Parker, no. Derek Chisora at 10, knocked out Chisora, but beaten 3 times. So he's got 3 of 9 possible opponents, because Fury is listed at number 1. Okay, if you want to say the top 10 that he hasn't faced, number 11 would be Zhilei Zhang, according to BoxRec's ratings, and he hasn't faced Zhang. So he's faced 3 out of 10, the top 10 possible opponents according to BoxRec. All right. So let's move on to who should we have next? How about the Ring? Because everyone talks about the Ring magazine and the belt and everything. Well, at number 1, first of all, as their champion, they've got Alexander Usyk, and not Fury, because Fury retired. Should have been stripped of the WBC belt when he retired, but of course, or he should have been made a champion in recess or whatever they call it. No, so he hasn't faced Usyk. He's faced Wilder. Okay. Fury, by the way, is listed as number 1 contender. Wilder is 2. He hasn't faced Joshua. He hasn't faced Zhang. He hasn't faced Ruiz. He's faced White, so that's 2. At 7, we've got Joe Joyce, no. At 8, Ortiz, no. Parker at 9, no. And Hrgovic is at 10. So he's faced, of the top 10, he's faced 2 out of those top 10 potential opponents, according to Ring magazine. So 3 with BoxRec, 2 with the Ring. We then move on to, what should we have? How about the WBO title? That's one that Fury used to hold and doesn't hold anymore. It's held by Alexander Usyk, who's the champ. As their interim champ is actually Zhilei Zhang. Fury, of course, hasn't faced either of those. No Usyk, no Zhang. Ruiz Jr., no. Joshua, no. Frank Sanchez at 3, third ranked contender. Hasn't faced him. He's faced Wilder. Hasn't faced Parker at 5. No, he hasn't faced Joyce at 6. Hasn't faced Gerald Anderson at 7. Has faced Otto Wallin, who's ranked 8th with the WBO. Hasn't faced Hrgovic, who's 9. And at 10 they've got David Adeleye. How did he get in there? But he has. And by the way, 11 and 12 are Caballel and McKean, so he hasn't faced either of those. So he's faced 2. 1, 2. One finger, one thumb, keep moving. Yes. 2 out of the top 10 or 12 WBO fighters. IBF, let's go to the IBF. So, champion Alexander Usyk, no. Hrgovic, no. For some reason they've got the second contender vacant. How does that work? It's the IBF, I don't know. Wilder, yes, he's faced Wilder, so that's 1. Joshua, no. Frank Sanchez, no. Parker, no. Caballel, no. Ruiz, no. White, yes. He's number 9, White is. And 10, Otto Wallin. So he's got 3. 3 out of the the IBF rankings. He's placed 3 out of the top 10. No, by the way, number 11 is Murat Gasayev. How did he get in there? And Bakoli's 12. Bakoli was someone who said, I'll fight you. No, you won't, because apparently you don't make any money or some crap. So that's 3 out of the IBF top 10. All right. Who shall we have next? How about we have the WBC, which of course Fury is the champion of, so he holds the belt. Now at number 1, Wilder. Yes, he's faced him 3 times. Ruiz, no. Joshua, no. At 4th, Makhmudov, no. Sanchez at 5, no. White at 6, yes, so that's 2 contenders. Anderson 7, no. Bakoli at 8. Kozabutsky at 9, and 10 Parker. Now of the top 10 of his own, he is the champion of the WBC. He's only faced 2 of the top 10 contenders, Fury has. Only 2. Okay. So, who else? Who we missed out? The WBA. How could we forget the WBA? Alexander Usyk is the champ. Fury has faced Wilder. Not Bakoli, not Joshua, not Pero, not Makhmudov, not Miller. Jerome Miller at 6. Oh, the WBA is a disgrace. Pero at 4, who's 9-0, and then Miller, they've got him ranked at 6. Anderson, Hrgovic, Ortiz, none of them. And at number 10, Ditchko. So, I mean, they're probably the worst rankings of the lot. And Fury has faced a grand total of 1 of their top 10. Just 1, which is Deontay Wilder. Okay. So I think you get the impression. In the WBA's rankings, he's faced 1 of the top 10 in his own organisation, the organisation that he rules, which is the WBC. He's faced 2 of his top 10 contenders, and then the others are either 3 and 2. And that's all the ruling bodies, BoxRec and the ring. Okay, now, if you are going to do this, you cannot say you're the greatest of your generation. You haven't proven it. You haven't fought Alexander Usyk. You haven't fought Anthony Joshua. You haven't fought any of those that are mentioned, all the up-and-comers. Well, they're a different generation. They don't make any money. Cut the bullshit, because that's what it is, absolute bullshit. Right? You haven't faced them, and you don't deserve to be called the best of your... You haven't proven... You know, I think you might be the best of your generation. I think there's a very good chance. I used to believe that. Maybe I still believe it. But you ain't proved it. You haven't proved it, have you? Of course you haven't. And as for being the best ever, do me a favour, as Uncle Frank likes to say. It's complete nonsense, complete bull. So I thought I'd go through that just to give you an idea of why people might be a little outraged at all this crap that's going on. Francis and Ngannou. There hasn't been a viable contender for getting on for a year. I mean, cut the crap, you gaslighting obscurantist twat. I mean, if you care about boxing, this has got to outrage you. And yeah, let me know your thoughts below, leave them below. And thanks for listening in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and give that like button a jab as well. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. We want to grow the channel, and I really, really appreciate your time for listening. Whether you agree with me or not, I do appreciate it. Comments below and I'll answer them. Thank you all very much, and bye for now.